Today, I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with anxiety. Good morning and welcome to episode number 76 of In the Car with Clint. Heading to Kent Town this morning. And following on from yesterday's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with anxiety and mental health in general. I didn't realise that this week was Men's Mental Health Week in Australia, I think. I'm not sure if that's a international thing. And I thought it's probably a good opportunity that becomes a bit of a theme for this week. Obviously, being that it was on my mind yesterday around feeling glum, feeling, meh. So anyone that's been following my journey for any period of time's likely aware that I had a bit of a battle with anxiety. I guess on and off for the last 5 years. I haven't had an anxiety attack since January 30 this year, and in my opinion, or in my belief, I don't have anxiety anymore, and I've dealt with it, and it's gone. But let's go back. So, growing up, or as a young person in business, and as a young adult, I didn't take depression and anxiety seriously. I didn't understand it, and I just thought that anyone that had those feelings just was weak and hadn't learned, just to get on with it, and just because I was so blessed to have this ridiculous outlook on life, and I couldn't appreciate it from the other side, and I hadn't walked a mile in that person's shoes. Move forward 20 years, add 30 staff and 3 kids, and the pressures of life and the expectations you put on yourself and everything else, and potentially an alcohol addiction, and bad diet and lack of exercise and no self-care, and all of a sudden in pops an anxiety attack. Now, early stage, I thought it was just stress, and I thought it was, I think the first time I felt the lightest anxiety, I was trying to buy a vineyard in Birdwood, or near Birdwood, for those of you in South Australia. And it was overextending myself financially, and it was when I started having sleepless nights. And then you move forward to potentially trying to buy another business, or it's all been around me setting kind of goals, and then potentially not the fear or the anxiety of not getting them, and then who knows whether or not there was anxiety around health or whatever else. And the hard thing is, anxiety, you never really know. You'll go talk to someone about it, and they'll be like, and you kind of, the question will come up, what do you think it is, or what do you think is triggering it? And if you kind of knew, you'd be okay. You could kind of rationalize it and deal with it in some capacity. So obviously that now gives me a greater respect and understanding for depression and anxiety. I don't believe I've ever been depressed, and I guess my feeling, and I really don't know because I haven't walked a mile in those shoes, and I really want to make sure that I do this topic justice. This, talking about this really concerns me, that I might say the wrong thing, or it's kind of out of context, or someone will take offense. But I guess for me, I feel like if I had to choose between depression and anxiety, I'd choose anxiety. I felt like it was able to be dealt with a lot more quickly for me. I don't know if that's unfair. And I really, really feel for people that suffer from anxiety and depression, more specifically depression. Both of them are fucked, and want to talk about what I did to deal with that, and then hopefully that helps shine some light on it for everyone, and then gives people a path. Now, for those of you that like short videos, I'm sorry, but I really don't give a shit about today's video being short. This is an important message. So, when I started suffering from anxiety, I had 3... So in 2015 or 16, I thought, maybe when was it? Anyway, I'm not great on the dates, but it was around 16 or 17. I was 28, 33, 38. Basically every 5 years from 28, I'd gone to the doctor with what I thought was having a heart attack, irregular heart, kind of chest pains, not irregular heart, just chest pains and the general tightness And every time I'd have an ECG, I'd have blood work, and then they'd be like, look, you haven't had a heart attack, you've got no blood pressure issues, you could probably drop some weight, but we all know that. You need to go see a GP, and I never did. And then last time I went to the GP, I said to them, look, I just need some medication for this, like, just give me some drugs so that I don't have anxiety. And the doctor, we talked about alcohol, and he was like, look, if you've got a drinking problem, which you've told me you do, I'm not giving you prescription drugs, because we all know what you're going to do with those. And I was like, yep, makes sense. And I walked out of there like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? Like, thanks for your help, doc. Like, he gave me no solution. He's like, come back in a month and we'll, test your cholesterol and all that. And I was like, wicked. Like, that brings me no great understanding of how I'm going to handle this, but thanks. So what I proceeded to do, and these are probably a little bit out of order in timeline, but I'd been to a doctor and I'd started seeing a coach. So I got pointed towards someone that did Neuro-Linguistic Programming, timeline therapy, hypnosis, that kind of thing. And I've never really been, and obviously this might tie in with my early adulthood cynicism around depression and anxiety, but I've never really been a massive believer in psychological, like as in psychiatry, or like that whole, all I'd ever seen was people going to see a psychiatrist and seeing them every week. And I might be using the wrong term, psychiatrist, or there's another one, but it's just talking and nothing ever changes. And then I finally discovered this NLP after not a massive search, but it was, I guess, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear kind of thing. Like, I needed to talk to someone. And I finally found Toni Everard through Jody, who was doing some business coaching with me. Jody from the 7 Effect. You guys have probably seen me talk about her. I've definitely did a podcast with her. But Toni is I guess, at the top of her game in Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And so I did a breakthrough, which takes you back early childhood memories around things, and it just helps you clear some limiting beliefs. Or, I'm not going to do this justice, and I strongly suggest, if you've been struggling with anything long-term around fear or addiction or anxiety, I think dyslexia, there's an amazing array of techniques that they can use to help you with those things. And as part of my, I don't even know what to call it, and I'm going to talk about it for the purposes of the video, but we have that available to team members. It's a fully paid by the company service that if they need help, I'll fund it. And Toni, or one of Toni's students, and when I say students, they're not, fresh out of uni, like they're deep in their craft, will do work with our team, and we've had great success from that. For the people that want help, and sometimes if some people will say yes, but they don't really want to give it their all. But for the ones that grabbed it with two hands and ran with it, it's been life changing, and it has been for me. And so where I guess I'm going with this is, I know when you're suffering from depression or anxiety, or even just sadness, everyone says, just talk to someone. And I think sometimes for people that you don't want to talk to someone, or you don't know who to talk to, or, I know that sometimes the phone lines for those support phone lines are very under-resourced, and that's sad. And it's hard to get through sometimes. I haven't had personal experience with that, but I've known people that have been really close to the edge, and just being able to ring and talk to someone changes the course of their life. So it's for everyone, but especially for men out there. Be there for your brothers. Like, we had a barbecue last week at Dry Creek, and it was quiet because we didn't have a lot of customers come, but it was so good to be able to sit down. There was 4 of us men, all sat down and talked about struggles that each of us had kind of had around divorce, or custody with children off the back of divorce, anxiety, addiction, and those conversations don't happen enough. And I guess if this can be the trigger that makes you go, yeah, you know what, let's catch up, or let's have a phone, let's just call a mate and just be like, bro, like, how's it all going? And if it's great, then wicked. what a good opportunity it was to catch up and know that your brother is killing it. But if it's not, sometimes just having 10 minutes to just unload, and not to your wife or not to your bum or not to your dad, but just to a mate, and just to unload and go, you know what, man, things are fucked and I'm gonna be fine, but this is what's going on. And just to have another perspective, just to go, yeah, dude, like I had that. I've thrown up in the morning to get out the door. I've cried in the shower. Like, I've decided I'm staying in bed today because I don't want to see anyone in the world. Like, it happens. I've been there. And then, if you need to go to that next level, I'm not a medical professional, but I have had unbelievable experiences with NLP and hypnosis and therapy through that point of view. I feel like it's a better solution to anything else that I'm aware of. I don't know everything. And the idea with it is to help your subconscious repair. And like I said, I'm not probably doing this justice, and I strongly encourage you to research it more if you're that way inclined. But it helps repair, I guess, things that are broken, and that's not the right word, but it helps you overcome limiting beliefs, and it helps you understand things that have happened in your childhood that have impacted the way that you see the world as an adult. And it's not a forever thing. A breakthrough for me was 6 sessions, and you come out of it kind of like, that's weird, I don't feel any different. But then 3 days later or 2 days later, if you've done a really good job, you're like, oh my God, like, bring it on. So that's my experience with anxiety and how I've dealt with it. It's a constant worry for me. And I know that it's gone, but sometimes I go to sleep, because my anxiety attacks only occurred during sleep. Sometimes I'd go to sleep and I'm like, I don't feel there. I don't feel like it's there. It's usually if I've had some alcohol, and my alcohol consumption is low compared to what it was, because if I have kind of more than 10 standard drinks, I've kind of got this anxiety feeling there. So I know what I need to do. I know that I need to be hydrated. I know that I need to meditate. I know that I need to spend time with others and touch humans. I know that sounds weird, but with consent, and shake hands and make eye contact and talk about ideas, and I get to live my craft and fucking play every day and do business. And this morning I stayed home and had breakfast with my kids, and I'm doing that more, and just being connected to other human beings and being conscious of the inputs that you put into your body, and that's digital and physical inputs. And I'm happier, and it's not always going to be great. There's going to be days when it's hard, but I don't believe, unless you're the one person, like, it's hard because it's your reality, but there's always someone worse off. And I guess if someone else that's gone through what you've gone through has come out the other side, you can too. And there's plenty of people that are happy to talk about it, and there's plenty of people that are happy to talk to you about it. So yeah, if you want access to the people I've just discussed, I'll link up Toni's details in the comments below. I know she's really busy, and I know that if she can't help you, she knows people that can. I don't think it's covered by any medical benefit stuff, so it is, it's money. But if it was, would you rather spend the money? Some people would happily spend that on a new Gucci handbag or 2 or 3 Saturday nights out getting drunk. I think the money could be better spent on creating happiness, genuine, deep happiness in yourself, if you're at a point where you feel like you're there. So anyway, I know that was a long one. If you've stayed this far, thank you. Maybe reach out to someone today and just let them know you're thinking of them, and if they need a chat, be there for them. Give them 10 minutes. I know I don't do that enough, but yeah, I'm conscious of it, and I'm going to try. That was 76. That's it. Be kind to each other, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.